I could see you doing acting as far as being Western. Oh yeah, werewolf.
Well, I'm not going to be the werewolf. I would be the I'd be like the werewolf wrangler. I'm going to be like I'll be like a Native American type who's like tapped in.
We had the crocodile hunter, the horse whisperer, and the werewolf wrangler. Hello, rock stars. It's Concert Connection, sponsored by PMC Entertainment. And this week yes, I am still quarantined, and it's not because I can't go out. It's because I did bad things, and I'm on restrictions still. But to keep me entertained this week, I have none other than Rich Redmond as my guest. How are you, sir?
What's up, brother? It's always good to see you.
Oh, man, I tell you what, are you surviving? Are you doing pretty good?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I got the word that we were going to cancel our last few shows of our tour in March. Jumped on a plane March 13th to Los Angeles. Been out there for about 6 months with my girlfriend, keeping busy. Of course, the numbers were crazy out there. Now the numbers are crazy in Nashville. And I was by the book doing everything by the CDC numbers, limiting my social pods, scrubbing that skin off my hands, doing the distancing, wearing the mask. Even like when I was running, I try to walk or run 6 miles a day, and even with the mask. And I'm going to go see my folks this Sunday. I haven't seen them since last Christmas, so it's way overdue. So I got my first COVID test, and it was like, that's what I thought. I'm negative. They're getting tested. So Sunday I'm going to get to be able to hug my parents, for the first time since Christmas,
That's awesome. You know what? I'm guilty. I need to go home and see mom. I haven't been back up to Seattle in about a year and a half. And so I'm guilty right here.
Is it still rainy season or what? Is it always rainy season?
Really? I don't think it ever. So it rains from like September 15th through July 3rd. And
wow.
That's why it's so green in the Northwest. But then there's a couple months out of the year the Northwest is phenomenal. I mean, I love the weather up there.
Well, this is my favorite time in Nashville. This is like where the sun is setting an hour earlier. Things are cooling off. There's a crispness to the air. The leaves are starting to fall. It's the best time of the year in Nashville. I feel like everyone's creative juices are great. Of course, it's pumpkin spice latte season. I do 1 pump instead of 4 pumps of the flavor, and this is my favorite. I love it.
I love the fact that you're very specific. I'm like, I'd like 1 pump, not 4.
I mean, what am I? Come on, like.
Hey, you know what? At my age, and I'm fixing to have a birthday here in a couple of weeks. I'm turning 51. We have to watch what goes in. We may act like 12-year-olds, but the body doesn't feel like a 12-year-old.
Well, we act 12 when we watch what's coming out.
Yeah. I am so much. Can't believe you say I'll get mail for that. They're like, Rick, it's bad enough that you say ball gag on your show. Now you're talking about watching what's coming out. It's okay. Everyone knows me at this point. I'm an idiot. I'm okay with it. But no, I need to get up. I got to go up and see mom. And I'm glad, when we were talking on the phone, you said, I'm going out. I was like, nice. Cause I know that you've been out on the West Coast now for months, and getting a little stir crazy. I mean, as far as routine and what you can and can't do.
A little bit because, here in Nashville, I live in a condo. It's incredibly convenient. It's like walking distance to everything. It's like the closest we get to like the West Village in New York City. But there's, you don't have a yard and all that kind of stuff. And then I have a house out in the sticks where I have my studio, but I rent that out to my drum students. So they're getting to enjoy my mortgage out there, but they're super great. They're like, they take care of the place. They're like the drumming property managers. And then also in Los Angeles, I'm in a condo as well. So, 6 months go by and the walls are closing in on you a little bit when you're in that much. And, I'm a people person just like you, and everything that we do is centered around connecting with people. So I just can't wait for I don't want things to open up prematurely. I don't want to go all Florida, but I want things to be correct. You know what I mean? But I miss people.
And it's funny you said Florida, because you are actually you're going to see your folks, and they live somewhere in the giant state of Florida.
That's the
we don't need to tell
hotbed here in Nashville. It's a hotbed. So it's like,
And I don't want to tell people where you are, because I don't want them stalking mom and dad, and then all of a sudden they're sleeping in sleeping bags on their front yard. But I've got some friends that live down in Tampa, actually Port St. Lucia, all over, and they're telling me, it's opened up, and I'm like, okay, I thought we were cowboys here in Texas, I've been playing shows now for a couple months,
Yeah. Well, what does that look like? And that,
Oh my. Okay, so now the clubs. In fact, I just played this past weekend. Clubs are at 75%, and especially if it's on a patio, no one is social distancing. Everybody, and again, we are people. I'm a people person. I'm trying to keep my distance, but people come up and hug you, and you're like,
I mean, I love you. I love you. I love you. But you may have just killed me. It's thanks a lot.
Is that like Romeo and Juliet? I mean, it's a kiss of death.
So what are the clubs? Because I was kind of a product of the Dallas scene there. I played Club Memphis. I played all the Sambucas. I played Torelli's, Strictly Taboo, Greenville Bar and Grill, Dada, Trees.
Yep. Basically everything's open up. Like we were just at Chill Bar in Ville a couple of weeks ago. I was at Lava Cantina. I emceed an event out at the Roanoke Chop Shop. Gas Monkey a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it's funny you say Memphis, because yes, you always end up at Shuck and Jive in Memphis. I mean that's
it's an amazing po' boy, the catfish po' boy with the hush puppies, and the hush puppies were like, on the pirate ships they'd be like hush puppy, and they would throw the fried dough to the dogs, right?
Oh my God! I didn't realize you played that's your stomping ground. Like
that was my stomping grounds. There was a Starbucks, Club Memphis, and then the Shuck and Jive. And I was roommates with my friend Bruce, who was the lead singer of Random Access. We were roommates together, and his brother owned Club Memphis. So like Addison was my playground, and I lived in Webb Chapel, and I lived in Louisville, and I lived in Denton off of Bell Road by, what was it, TWU or TCU?
TCU.
The all-girls school?
Yeah. Oh, I think that's TWU.
TWU.
I'm married, so I wouldn't know about all-girls schools.
Well, I was married at the time, too. I couldn't enjoy it, but I had the padlocks on.
You're like, I think it's an all-girls school. I'm not really sure.
I just got done from not a Zoom. This is StreamYard, and of course everyone's been doing Zoom. And then I've done like 12 speeches for my friends at Cisco, and they had created this thing called WebEx. And a friend of mine who's been there 20 years and got me my first speech with Cisco was actually retiring, and he was having a WebEx retirement party. So everybody was having cocktails. So I'm having a cocktail for my friend Anthony.
It's more than okay. When Johnny Kelly was on the show a month ago, he kept getting up with his camera, his phone, and walking to the fridge to get another beer. And I'm like, okay, you do you. It's all good. I actually had to go get a rum chata on ice because I'm on a rum chata kick. I'm just
nice.
So,
speaking of sugar,
oh Lord, I'm like a little kid, and everybody knows that I have a ding dong addiction, which through COVID, I went like a month and a half. I could not find a box of ding dongs to save my life. And yes, I'm sorry. It's child. And if you've ever seen the movie Over the Hedge, the animation, they feed the squirrel espresso, and he starts to shake and he takes off like a rocket.
What's the deal with squirrels now? I feel like this is squirrel season, because when I go on my walks here on Music Row, there's frickin' squirrels everywhere. It's like an army of squirrels.
Because they didn't have to.
For the winter, right?
They're getting ready. Yeah, they're getting ready for the winter, but they also didn't have to abide by COVID. So they're like, nobody's out, dude. We got to run on the place. So they're not scared anymore. But you just touched on something that I definitely, oh my Lord, I admire, and I love getting to watch some of your YouTube speeches. You do a lot of public speaking, inspirational speaking, and I'm not going to be shy about saying that I have watched some of the presentations that I've watched on YouTube. And how did you get into that? I mean, just a natural knack for it, and I mean, tell me a little bit about it.
Well, it's just like you. I mean, you're holding the microphone, man. You're a professional MC. You have the gift of gab. You're uncomfortable. You're comfortable in front of an audience, making people uncomfortable, and people recognize that in you, and they keep calling you for it. So I've always had a teacher's heart. I ended up getting my master's degree in music education from the University of North Texas there in Denton. So I was always teaching and then doing master classes and clinics at stores, but I was always into like success, motivation, like this book right here, The Law of Success. I'm sitting on it so I can heighten a little bit, but Napoleon Hill, I'm a student of Napoleon Hill, and I'm back sitting on my book. So I was kind of into that stuff, and my mom had that stuff in her library, and she allowed me access to it as a young man, and it kind of got into my DNA, and that stuff would kind of trickle out during my drumming presentations. And then when I met my good friend, Anthony Grady, he got me my first speaking to a bunch of people at Cisco. And if people don't know about Cisco, not the Cisco food company, but the Cisco company that does hardware solutions and cloud-based storage, and they basically run the internet. They call them the plumbers of the internet. They run about 80% of the internet. So it's a global company, and I did so many speeches for them. As I started to meet people in that world, people would take notice, and I would start getting booked to do big pharma and farming conventions and mom and pop companies and startups, and then schools and high school graduations, and it just kind of like it blossomed from there. Like everything in life, one handshake usually turns into, if you're doing the right thing in life, if you're showing up with a smile on your face, firm handshake, you're approachable, you're a likable person, you can take direction, you have something to say, you're articulate, usually people will give you more and more opportunities. Just like, being a drummer, once people tell that you can get a good sound on the instrument, you show up on time, you're well prepared, your drums sound good, you can keep a beat for 3.5 minutes, people go, oh, call Rick.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
And, okay, so you just said something, and a lot of people can talk, okay? And a lot of people can be comfortable in front of a crowd. But being able to say something, okay, and have it impact other folks, that is having a message, and not, hey, go get a box of ding dongs because I said so. But I mean, say something to people that inspires them to want to improve themselves. That's the key, and that is a true gift. And I've watched how you've used your love of percussion and your skill to help motivate others. And I mean, the way you tie it together, I will tell you, I love it. I find myself inspired. So, I mean, when you can be inspired by friends, that is a gift. If you can find inspiration in each other, and I do, even my fellow bandmates, there's things about them that just make me shine. I feel inspired by them. It makes me want to be a better person.
Sure.
Do you find that when you give a speech and somebody comes up to you that you're like, okay, that's gratifying?
Yeah, what was the movie with Helen Hunt and where Jack Nicholson, where she's like, "You make me want to be a better man." As good as it gets.
As good as it gets. Yep.
Right. So, I mean, I love that. I mean, I'm just in my lane doing my thing. I was put here to play the drums. The drums are my vehicle for expression, to get my message out, and hopefully that impacts people. I think all of us have a skill set or a message or a story or something that we can share with the world. And of course, the more effectively you can communicate that, keeping it simple, I call it edutainment. So, I'm an educator, but I think, you don't want to be that, you don't want to share the message in a ho-hum, boring way. If you can make it entertaining, you could tell stories that paint pictures. There's a through line, there's a thread that runs through it all, and you could tie it up with a neat bow at the end, and it's not something that happens overnight. It's something that you just have to keep showing up. Someone calls you to do something, you prepare, you show up with a huge smile on your face, you give, you exceed expectations constantly and consistently, and then hopefully the world will remember that, and the phone will start to ring, and it's just like building any business.
Now, let's talk about, and again, I'm always amazed by it, but I got to meet, in fact, last year at Drumathon, you and Sarah. And Sarah is one of your students, and I'm going to give her props because I do follow her on Facebook. She's fun to watch, but she was there and watching teacher and student do a drum off together. I'm going to tell you, that was phenomenal. That was phenomenal because you had to be as a almost like a parent seeing her come to fruition. Years of working with her.
Yeah. Well, she's fearless. I mean, we call her Sarah Cardeal, Sarah the real deal Cardeal. I helped her come up with that one day, and she's like, she takes the lead. She's a go-getter. So she's like, the real deal. Next thing I know, she's printed up her own T-shirts and she's selling them, and she's wearing her own merchandise. And she goes and she knows how to promote herself in a kind of politely persistent way. She knows what she wants to do. She's playing in a million bands. And Sarah isn't like a student in the sense that I see her every week after week for 52 weeks. She has great teachers in Connecticut. I think she has 2 or 3 drum teachers. But whenever me or Shulman or Aronoff or Steve Smith or any of these guys come through Connecticut, she'll drum tech for us, and she helps like set up the clinic. And I've crashed at her place so many times, and of course I know her parents, and her parents cook for me, and I know the family, and so it's a great thing. You know, I don't have any kids. I didn't take the time to do that. It didn't work out for me. So, you know, this is what I do, is I find a way to give back. There's another great kid, Cameron Shannon, who lives over here in East Tennessee, and I was working with him because I met him at Fork's Drum Closet. His parents reached out to me and they said, this kid knows every lick and every drum part to every Jason Aldean song. So I go over, I meet him at Fork's Drum Closet. They set up a little sound system and he's playing along to Dirt Road Anthem. He knows every drum fill, every crash, every twirl that I do, every hi-hat opening. It's so flattering. I go, how did you do that? He goes, I just practice all day, every day to your songs and your DVDs. Next thing I know, we're doing a Make-A-Wish together, and a limo pulls up with the family, and he gets to go to Fork's Drum Closet and pick out any drum set that he wants. So I have to thank DW, Sabian, Remo, Promark, Humensenberg, Roland. They bought him an exact replica of my drum set.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So Cameron is a fighter. He's had like 50 surgeries. He's got so many oppressive health conditions, but he just keeps going and going, and he's super positive. And I said, he's going to have his 15th birthday next month. And I said, Cameron, what are you going to do? What's your goal? What's your dream? He goes, I'm going to move to Nashville and be a session drummer.
I was waiting for you to say he was going to come take your job.
He knows exactly what he wants to do. Oh, and we actually filmed the pilot for a potential reality TV show, and he got up in front of 15,000 people with my band, with no in-ear monitors, on my drum set, and played Hicktown in front of 15,000 people.
Nice.
Wasn't even nervous.
Nice. That is a gift. The fact that he got to do that, that's a life experience that, you know, maybe he doesn't obtain that level, but to be able to get up in front of 15,000 people, I've been there. I know what it's like. It is a little nerve-wracking if you don't do it every day. You're comfortable with it.
Well, he just owned it. Like he was like, this is an opportunity. I'm going to take it. And his family was there, and they're on the side of the stage. They're crying, and it was like, it's so unbelievable to be in this situation where someone actually cares enough to learn a drum part of mine that I recorded 10 years ago, 12 years ago. You know what? That is the compliment. I mean, hey, I'm in a couple tribute bands. I'm doing Green Day and Billy Idol, and it is a compliment because you admire these artists and you want to learn. You know, I mean, I've done the original thing, but you want to learn their parts and as close as possible. It's not like, okay, I know the changes and whatnot, and I'll just wing the rest of it. You'd like to play it pretty accurately. I mean, those parts came about for a reason, and the songs became a hit for a reason. So if you're not in there like 95%, bingo. It's somewhat disrespectful, especially if you're in a tribute, you know. Oh yeah, and it's funny because when I had Johnny on a few weeks back, he told me he sat in with Quiet Riot for a spell, and I was thinking to myself, so it was kind of like being in a tribute band, just a little bit. I mean, you have to go learn, even though it's not your music, you didn't write it, so you got to go learn it. And again, I think all of us, I'm sure you've played, there's songs that you've learned you've covered or paid tribute to. It's a compliment to the artist if you can do that. And again, you knew I was going to ask about Cameron, so I'm glad you brought it up because every time I see pictures, there's something that is captivating about him. And I always stop and just kind of either stare at the video or I look at the pictures and I'm like,
man.
Well, he's touched by a higher power. I mean, these both those kids are just they like God is shining through them, because they know exactly what they want to do. They love playing the drums that much, which re-inspires me, because after you've been doing it for 44 years, 45 years, you're like, wow, it's still incredible, but some days it's like, it might not impact you in the same way it does a 15-year-old kid.
I'm going to tell you the same thing I told Johnny, because Johnny, he gives lessons here in Dallas. He lives up in Denton, and he goes down to the Sound Foundation and gives lessons. And he said, "Why don't you come down on Saturday?" And I've had a lot of people go, "Rick, we watch you play drums all the time. Would you give lessons?" And I'm like, "I'm not a teacher."
Yeah.
But I may not be an advanced teacher, but I think that I could definitely inspire maybe some of the younger drummers, get the basics, the foundation, and get them up and running, because there is that sense of giving back, helping perpetuate the gift of music, which
Sure.
to me, it's a gift. It's not much different than why I started this show, Concert Connection, is to give back here in Dallas to the local music community. It was my way of just saying, here, let me give back. But as a teacher, you get to see it every day, and to see the sparkle in the eye of the student as they blossom. That's I might have to dip in and just see.
Well, it's incredible. It's incredible just to be part of their journey. And you're a pro player. You play all the time. So even if you're not teaching them, page, 5-stroke rolls, flams, and page 38 out of the stick control book or the syncopation book, you know about posture. You know about holding the stick correctly. You know about getting a good sound. You know about getting that whipping motion on the hi-hat, consistently cracking rim shots, not overplaying crashes, like all that stuff, staying solid, playing
How about
patterns.
not wavering,
Yeah.
being a solid metronome, because as I tell everybody, I am a heartbeat. I am proud to be the heartbeat of the band. I don't have to be the best drummer out there, but you know what? I better not push. I better not pull. My job is to be there, like the heart. And
Sure.
I'm telling you, I'm going to have to go down to the Sound Foundation and sit in with Johnny and maybe start giving some lessons, because the more I hear about it, I'm like, at 51, I think maybe I finally have enough patience to impart a little knowledge to the next generation. Oh,
You should do it, man. You should do it.
So the other thing that I want to talk to you about, and I am a stalker, I'm just letting you know. I love watching your podcast or listening to your podcast.
Oh, you're a listener. Okay. Yeah. Some people, it's so crazy. I'll get screenshots from people and they're like, dude, I got you on my 72-inch screen. I don't even do that. Would be weird if I did that, but you can, they have these 72-inch screens now. The plasma's gorgeous, HD. You got your Apple TV. You can watch anything on YouTube. And so my show, the Rich Redmond Show, is on. Oh, yeah. It's on YouTube, it's on Stitcher, it's on Google Play, it's on Spotify, it's on Apple Podcasts. But some people just love watching it, which is crazy because it's just two guys either on Zoom or in my studio talking to a guest. Yes. And then other people they love to travel, work out, whatever, and they have it on their phone,
Same with being home for so long.
Oh my God, yeah, my suitcase hasn't been unpacked for 23 years.
Wow.
It's always been in the corner, like calling me. And sometimes it's a thing where you come in and you take the suitcase, you dump it, you do laundry, and then you might repack to a different size suitcase depending. Oh, we're only going out for one night. We're going out for 2 nights. It's a 3-night run. Oh, 3-week run. You got to choose the right suitcase, and I have to plan my whole life because sometimes I'll be on the road with my band. I'll do Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday, I fly to Los Angeles, spend some time out there, soak up some vitamin D, see the palm trees, do a clinic at Musicians Institute, come back to Nashville. So it's just this thing. It's just you're constantly moving, and to not be playing with my band for the first time in 20 years and not be in perpetual motion is very crazy.
Yeah. And I think, especially for guys like us that I'm always going. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not on the road, yes, I go 24/7. Usually I wind down 10, 11 o'clock at night, get to bed about midnight, back up at 6 o'clock so I can give my dog insulin, and my day, I'm off and running. There is not I just don't stop. I'll crash about every third weekend. I'll crash for an entire Sunday. Like I don't get out of bed. I don't move, and I'm just.
That's awesome.
I'm done.
Now, do you have kids?
I do. My son's 20. He'll be 21 in May, and he's in college. He's having a hard time with it being. everything's online, man. And so he's living at home, and he's having a tough time. He's like, Dad, I want to go to school. I want to see my professors. He's going to Eastfield, and then he wants to transfer to UNT Denton.
Nice.
He's getting his degree in hospitality management. That's his goal.
Oh, I mean, that's a job that just keeps on giving. How many hotels? I mean, even when I was in Dallas in 96, 97, so many hotels.
Oh yeah.
Like so that's a good. And you waited, man. Like, it sounds like you got pregnant at 30. That's that was a great time to do it.
I practiced a lot to help, try to get it right the first time. So
I'm still practicing. Yeah, that's great.
He actually, you talk about hotels. He wants to work on a floating hotel. His life's ambition is to be a cruise director for Carnival Cruise Lines. He wants to work. He wants to be that cruise director, which is it any different than what we do? It is entertainment. It is work, but that's his goal in life. And I'm like, I love you.
That's
Go
awesome.
do it. Go do it. And if you fail, at least you're failing. You can say I tried and failed, as opposed to going, that sounds like a fun dream, but I'm too scared to go out and do it. And that's the kicker that I tell everybody. Have a dream, try. I don't care if you fail. There's nothing wrong with failure. There's inherent lessons. But if you didn't try at all, that's the crime. That's the crime. So I got to tell you again, love your show. I hope you keep doing it. Oh my God. And imparting knowledge, and we, some weeks I'm so crazy busy, I forget to share it. We try to share it and get people out there and get you, again, we know you're from the neighborhood. So we
That's right.
We want people to watch. I do want to say congratulations. You just had a 2-year anniversary with your lovely girlfriend.
Yeah, Kara, the fashion designer. She's I'm so lucky. And I have bionic eyes. I think I told you, but I basically just got some surgery, and I got some lenses inserted in my eyes, and I'm going to take them to the dirt. They'll be with me for the next 20, 25, 30, 35 years. And I'm basically seeing about 20/20 for the first time in my life, except occasionally when I read up close, I got to have the readers. So I'm going to have to invest in a bunch of sexy readers,
You can see my nerd. I've got like a 12 pack of them. They're sitting everywhere. They're in every car, every backpack. In fact, when we play gigs, I've got, again, gear for everything. There's readers in there because I might have to order some food off the menu. And it's either hold it way out here or go, can you just give me some French fries and a hamburger?
So you just buy cheap ones and like by the pound?
Absolutely, because I break them. I'm a drummer. I'm a bull in a china closet. I break stuff. So I'm like, I will take a half dozen of those $1.50 readers. And if I look like an old guy, I don't care.
That's all right. You just keep them everywhere. That's a good plan.
It's my plan. Now, I like the Buddy Hollies you got going on. I got to tell you, I want some fashionable ones. So I'm going to have to look into it and just.
Yeah.
So with that said, let's dive into another topic.
Sure.
You are, this is the first year that you and I, in the last couple of years, you and I have been together emceeing at Drumathon. And that is coming up, when this show airs, it'll have just aired October 4th. And I will tell you, I'm having withdrawals. Like, even if I wasn't emceeing the event, I would still be there all day. And it's weird because I am on the Drumathon committee and I do promote Breast Cancer Can Stick It in the Drumathon year round. I got to tell you, it's weird. I mean, this is that time of year where you're like, I'm coming to Dallas, and there's no Dallas run for you.
I know. Oh, Clyde Warren Park, man. April is just, she's a beautiful being, and to have created that platform is awesome. And to consistently year after year be raising usually around the same dollar amount, which is, for breast cancer research in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I'm sure that's massively appreciated by the powers that be every year. And it's a really fun thing, throwing out, T-shirts and drum items to all these great people, like these family. It's pre-COVID, it's like, we didn't even know how good we had it, man.
Yeah, now we do. Now we do. And, and what's funny is last year was a blast because we had Tiny with us. And I'm going to tell you, it was the most fun in a 3-ring circus I've ever had. Ever.
He's a nut. He's a total nut. I got to reach out to him and catch up with him. But he's a natural host as well.
And I was going to ask you, you're both out in LA. Have you been by the Boom Room just to check on him and see what's going on?
I haven't been on the Boom Room any times recently because the last 6 months I was just so rigid with the CDC guidelines, Yeah. But I've been to the Boom Room a million times. I teach lessons there. I record there. And it's an awesome space.
I told him next time he gets T-shirts made, let me know. I'll buy one. I want a large. He's like, I'm out of large. I'm like, I don't care. I want one. Just let me know. I'll buy one. He goes, I do them in limited runs. And because he was on the show about a month and a half, 2 months ago. And we talked about that. He's like, I never expected to Bill Gates rich. That wasn't the goal, but he goes, I didn't expect that COVID would affect the way with students and with bands that are rented out space. And I got to tell you, that's another thing that I've always wanted to open up is a rehearsal space, having a place for musicians. And I can't even fathom that. How do we keep the ship afloat? I mean, and all of us are trying to, figure out the new norm. And I've heard so many people go, I can't wait to get back to normal. Folks, stop. We're not going back to normal. Let's figure out how to operate life with the given. And that's really what it comes down to. So it's, I want to come out to LA for sure. Cause I'd love to come out and see you. Love to come see Tiny and just hang out for a little bit and just kind of, I haven't been to the Boom Room, so I'm eager. I want to.
Oh yeah, man! It's in a great location. And right up the street is my favorite the Cahuenga General Store. It's been there since the '70s. It's just a little mom and pop operation. I get my iced coffee and these awesome little artisan sandwiches, and you sit out and the sun is shining. And I mean, that's not happening anytime soon either. So,
Well, no, my new game plan, and I posted something is I'm thinking, I'm 51, probably the next 5-7 years, maybe 8 years. I'm going to sell. I probably won't sell everything. I'll take my investments, and I'm looking right now for beachfront in Costa Rica, Honduras, Belize.
Wow!
I want to open up a bar. That will be my retirement. Is open up a bar on the beach. But I want to have live acoustic music there every night. That is my plan.
Wow!
Well, that's think how many musicians I know, and how many people want to get away from it and have something that's comfortable, not this. I don't want a big high-rise hotel. I have a different game plan. I want bungalows and then have a giant open format restaurant bar with a stage where there's acoustic music every night, and people are encouraged to come down.
Well, you'd be a great proprietor, I'm sure, of that place.
I don't want to be there year round. I want to definitely, any business owner knows you put the right staff in place, but you're there a lot. And you do your thing. And with that said, I don't know if you saw my post a few weeks back. I got a custom drum set made. It was a piccolo snare and an 18-inch kick. And so I've been playing shows with just a hi-hat, snare, and a kick.
Nice.
Shows. And the thought process was in COVID, and as we're tearing everything down, let's get back to the basics. Can I, as a drummer, take just 3 pieces, kick, snare, hat, no crash, and make it sound full? It was a personal challenge for me. Like, do I have enough chops to take this small little contraption and make it sound big? And I will tell you, I loved it. And part of it came from, I've been listening to a lot of Violent Femmes. All he used was a snare. Like,
oh yeah.
Do you do that very often? Like, where you're like, we're going to break it all down. We're going to get basic here. Or do you always? Well,
just out of necessity. And, all my New York drummer friends, when they were kind of coming up in the scene, and Sean Pelton will tell the stories all the time about, the survival mechanisms of a New York City drummer, because, cabbies don't like stopping for guys that are out on the corner with all these drums, because it slows them down, and they're like, a musician, this guy probably doesn't have any money, he's not going to tip me, so it's so hard. And so these guys would get their rigs down to where you could just kind of pack everything up and, just like have something strapped over and then both of your hands full. But that is such a hustle and such a grind. But, I've done that over the years many times where it was just maybe like a kick, snare, hat, floor tom, and a ride cymbal. Of course, less than that, just kick, snare, hat. The hat's cool because if you want to mark the phrases, you could just can just have it bark a little bit. And the only thing that I would probably do a little bit differently is, instead of a piccolo, I would probably just have a deeper snare that's like just really fat. Because say you're working with the girl singer, they hate piccolos, and I feel like you can dig in more when you have like a fat flat snare drum, and it just sounds more classic, like the 70s with the wallet on the snare drum. So that'd be the only thing I would do. I'd probably have like not a fan of 18-inch kick drums because they sound too much like a railroad crossing, bing, 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 but a nice 20.
Here's what I did. So I found I had to test out a bunch of different pillows in there to find the right density because I don't want it to ring. I wasn't looking for, again, like you said, I don't want that high pingy sound. I wanted enough punch. And I think I have I'm still playing with it. I have a nice punchy sound, a lot of attack, and not very much resonant tone, which is what I was going for.
Yeah.
The piccolo, the reason I chose a piccolo is I'm using hot shots because, again, you play with sticks, yes, it's going to be loud as all can be. And I didn't want to use wire brushes, so I went with the hot shots. And so,
yeah, and you get the articulation when it's cranked up a little bit. There you go.
I'm just goofing off. It's COVID. Let's try something different. And if it doesn't work, well, again, we tried.
I just love your pattern. You're like, we're the same age, and you're just like, yeah, man, I don't care. I'm going to schlep these drums around. I mean, that's inspiring. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I haven't had to do schlepping in a while. I schlepped so much. I mean, from like 13 to, let's see, how old was I when I finally got a drum tech? Like 39 years old or something like that,
I've had some drum techs, and I'm going to tell you, they hate me because I expect all the drums. I have gigging drums, and then I have rehearsal drums. And the gigging drums only come out for live shows, and I expect everything to be put back because the next show that I open it up, I expect it to be exactly where I put it. I don't want to have to guess, like, did we forget something? Everyone laughs. They're like, Rick, and again, I am my own roadie. I count how many pieces went in. I know I have a count. It's usually 11 pieces go in, 11 pieces come out.
Yeah.
Everyone goes, Rick, you want to help breaking your drums up? No, I got this.
You got to have a system. You got to be a Boy Scout. I mean, when I was doing it, at the local level, going and playing with random access at Club Memphis, it'd be like snare drum, backup snare drum. You got to make sure you have 2 snare drum stands, hi-hat parts. Make sure that you got tools and extra felts and wing nuts and extra sticks and brushes, and you got to have 2 pedals, extra kick drum heads because you go through the things. A couple extra cymbals if you crack them. So it's like 2 of everything. So all of us crazy guys that are schlepping our gear around Dallas, Texas, it was like a mobile cartage truck, and for me it was a Toyota pickup truck with a camper shell.
Well, that's why
packed tight.
I have a Toyota pickup. It's a 4-door Tacoma, and I'm looking for a shell because after gigs, sometimes you do want to stay and maybe have a cocktail or 2. I don't want to have to leave my drums out, and maybe somebody get hold of them. They're always in, you can see, hard cases. Ooh, as I attack my camera. Hard cases. I'm not having anybody attack my gear. I'm a freak about it.
Plus, if it rains, right? I mean, you got to have a camper shell or something on there, right?
Yeah. I'm not that smart. I have plastic bags. Like if it's going to rain, I'm like, oh. So I put everything in the giant 55-gallon bag, then in the hard cases. Then they get my little way, and they don't stay. They all come in the house. As you can see, my office is overrun with. This is only part of it.
If there's a songwriter or a band or a bass player listening to the show right now, they have checked out. They are like,
oh yeah, they're like, you're
talking about wing nuts.
Felts. Are you kidding me? Oh my Lord. And so I wasn't going to ask it, but I am going to ask, what kind of relationship do you have with your drum tech? I mean, obviously he's got to set it up. Are you like a monster, or is he like autopilot at this point?
Oh, it's total autopilot. Yeah, my drum tech and I have been working together for a decade. John Hull, and his name is Johnny Fletch. So if you look him up on Instagram, it's Johnny Fletch Drums, and he does a lot of. He's been slacking a little bit. Like during COVID, he's just been traveling to these beautiful places like Yosemite and camping and fly fishing. He's like really living the high life right now. But he'll do like these tech videos of like how to give advice on how to be the best drum tech, and he's got time lapse videos of him setting up and tearing down the drums. But we have it down to an exact science from working with each other for a decade. And he can get it up and down in 11 minutes.
The whole kit.
A whole kit. Now, a drum tech is also responsible for like maintaining the drums, changing the heads, cleaning, ordering spare parts, ordering extra heads and sticks and cymbals, so they have a relationship with your companies that you endorse. And sometimes when the touring gets kind of crazy, I have an A kit and a B kit. So the A kit might be like on a semi for the tour, and then the B kit is maybe like somewhere else in another part of the country. And then he's got to coordinate, like, oh, we're doing Good Morning America or the CMAs. He's got to coordinate the backline gear for all that. So he's got his hands full.
Wow. You know what though? Again, that is an awesome relationship. That's a marriage. I mean, that's a marriage.
It is. He's like a son. He really is like a son, you know.
Young guy?
Yeah, he is exactly half my age. So he's about to be 30. Well, no, not half. He's 29. He's going to be 30, and we've been working together for a decade.
Wow. So
I know he got the gig. I told him, I said, you got the gig, and went straight to the top.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he didn't have to drive around in a 15-passenger van and, like, you know, do that whole thing.
Okay, you didn't have to bring that up. I remember those days. And I actually remember, I've told this story once or twice. I remember my very first tour. I was in a goth band called Faith and Disease out of Seattle, and we went on the road, and we had a Volkswagen bus with a trailer behind it, and there wasn't enough room for everything. Somebody had to sit on the floor, so I ended up like sleeping in the aisle, basically, you know, like anywhere I could get. In between the seats.
I did it. I did some of that. And I did it proudly, man. It's just part of the story.
I think it's fun, honestly. Yeah. Not maybe at my age, but oh my Lord!
Right, I know.
So, anything big coming up? I know that we're all looking at 21, going, is it going to open up? Are we going to go back to work? Are you looking at your schedule for next year already and going, yeah, we got some things, and I don't just mean touring. I mean speaking engagements, teaching stuff. I mean.
The rumors are out there for like when things might happen, and I'm just waiting to see what's going to happen there. But I mean, luckily along the way, I've kind of like varied my my creative pursuits, and so there will be speeches that'll come in, maybe in person. Nothing in person is booked yet. We have virtual things, and then I do like career coaching or online drum lessons. And I sell my training product at drumminginthemodernworld.com. It's basically everything I know about drumming, and you pay one time. It's $99, and it streams in HD to all your devices for your entire life. So I do some of that stuff, and then of course I'm going to be continuing to study my acting and taking auditions for hosting, voiceover, commercial acting, and then I've kind of attached to a couple feature films, a werewolf movie, a Western. So you know me, I don't let the moss grow. I try to keep it all moving forward.
I could see you doing acting as far as being Western. Oh yeah, werewolf.
Well, I'm not going to be the werewolf. I would be the I'd be like the werewolf wrangler. I'm going to be like I'll be like a Native American type who's like tapped in.
We had the crocodile hunter, the horse whisperer, and the werewolf wrangler. There's T-shirts there. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, it's funny because I know a couple folks that are actors here locally, and they keep saying, "Rick, you need to go do some auditions." And there's a slight curiosity, like, I don't know if I can remember my lines, but I have no problem winging it. Like, yeah.
Oh, you just work on it. You just work on figuring ways to like get it in your skull, and you work on repetition exercises. So then when the camera's rolling and you're in the moment, you could truly just be in the moment. But yeah, I mean, I could totally see. Yeah, you should do it. Like take an improv class or something. You know,
that's what I want to do. Again, I think I told you, my son's a theater major, and he's like, "Dad, you should try doing some acting." He goes, "I don't know how you get in front of the camera," and I'm like, "I don't even think about it." All honesty, I used to be terrified. I would shake. Now when I MC or we interview, it's a camera. I mean, I talk to the mirror every morning. If you guys could hear the conversations that I have with myself, the dogs think I'm insane, or maybe they know the truth.
I can't wait to have dogs. I tell you, I haven't had a dog in so many years. I can't even have a cat. It's crazy.
Hey, wait. I'm gonna warn you. They're gonna break your heart. They will break your heart. I've had a number of dogs. I give in. I open up completely, 100%. I adopt them. I'm a rescue guy. And everyone knows I do get up. One of my dogs has diabetes, and we've been doing it for a year and a half. 6 a.m. I'm up. 6 p.m. she has to have the second shot. When we found out she was diagnosed with diabetes. My wife and I, paper, rock, scissor. She won. She picked 6 p.m. I got 6 a.m. If I get home 3, 4 in the morning, I am still up at 6 a.m. She has to eat and 15 minutes later have insulin. It's a labor of love, but it's a short relationship. You're going to get 10, maybe 15 years. They break your heart. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I just found out one of my other little dogs has lymphoma. In fact, we're going in tomorrow. It's okay. It's okay because modern medicine, they said he could, he's like 11. He can live another, 5, 6 years. Not a big deal. But I do know every day when I look at them, you're going to break my heart. I'm going to cry for days. But the gratification you get out of them when you wake up in the middle of the night and they're kicking you in the face because that little dog takes the whole king size bed. I'm just saying it.
I had Sassy the cat, and she passed away in 2015. So I missed Sassy the cat. She would like meet me at the door. I'd come home from the road, and she would be like a dog. She had like such a personality.
Wow. And you can't take it on the bus. You can't take them with you.
You don't want to be the weird guy flying with a cat,
Oh, no, I want to be weird. Maybe just not with the cat. So I got to tell you, when all this starts to abate, you got to come down and bring Kara, correct? It is Kara.
Yeah.
Okay. If I say her name wrong and she watches the show, she goes, that guy's an idiot. I mean, I am. I promise you I'm an idiot. But I didn't want to. You got to bring her down.
Kara kind of spent some time in Dallas, too, so we are very familiar with Dallas. She was really good friends with Vinnie Paul, so God rest his soul, so yeah.
Yeah, I got to tell you, every time we lose a musician, it's a heartbreaker. And I know, again, it's this ride is not forever for any of us, but I don't want to lose anyone. Not yet. Because it reminds me that we're getting there. No, you should come down and we'll go down to in fact, I was just down in Green. We did a Labor Day weekend. Went down to Green for the weekend. Had to go to the grist mill for dinner, and actually had to go to Green Hall for have to have a couple beers. They had a blues band playing there, and of course I have to stop and I drool a little bit like, I don't think they're going to let a punk rocker play here.
Yeah, you get your shuffle going.
I can pull it off, but
yeah, sure.
They look at you weird when you show up with a mohawk, and I just shaved my sides again. So
yeah, man, you and Stephen Perkins got that cut, man.
You know what? I've got a little bit of hair left. I'm not blessed with the nice full head of hair like you, so I'm like I'm fighting it till the.
But you know what that means? You got a lot of testosterone. Bald men have tons of testosterone. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Yeah, thanks. That's why I hit the drums like an animal. I've got some testosterone anger issues, and I've not learned the finesse. I beat the snot out of the drum set. The music store loves me when I'm like, I need to get another set of Sabian cymbals. They're like, oh, has it been 12 months, Rick? I'm like, literally, I'm not changing my style at all. The only thing is sticks get expensive when you break them at the pace I break them, and I need to sign up for your class. I think, like you said, it's like $99. It's a lifetime membership, and I actually want to come to one of your in-person classes. And I keep seeing them; they're like 2 or 3 day.
Yeah, we do. I do this thing called the Drummers Weekend, and what I did, like the last one I had Joe Vitale from Crosby, Stills and Nash and the Eagles. I had hip hop legend Daru Jones, and then I had my buddy Larry Aberman, who played with like Jonathan Brooke and oh my God, the who's who of the music industry. He teaches at UNLV now, and they spend 2 days with the kids, and we break bread, and there's door prizes, and then the kids get to do a concert at the end where they play with this all-star band, and we cover things like rudiments, reading, styles, coordination, playing with clicks, overdubbing percussion, music business 101, like how to get a gig, how to keep a gig, like all that kind of stuff,
And see, you know what? That's the stuff. And I keep thinking about doing a like mini series on my show for local musicians. Again, how do you book your band? How do you run a band? Because it's not just hang out in the garage, make some music, and then go get on stage. I mean, this is a business, and you need to treat it seriously. And you only get out of it as much as you put into it. And again, I'm a firm believer that it's a diamond, and we have music scenes in every city in the U.S. And unfortunately, we don't have enough people get out for the local music. Everybody goes out for the nationals. I mean, that's what they do, but they miss a plethora of talent week in, week out. That, again,
as it slowed down in Dallas, because I would remember when I would play Club Memphis with like Dallas Brass and Electric or The Project or Bill Tillman or Random Access, it'd be a Monday night at 9:45 and be packed.
Absolutely. And what's funny is I didn't announce local music. I haven't for months, and I keep saying I need to get back to it. I have a calendar for an app for your phone where local musicians can promote their shows. Local bands can go. It's a free app, and they could go, oh, who's playing Monday night, Wednesday night? And that was my goal is national acts. You guys get plenty of press. You guys are promoting, but teaching the local artist, and that again was the premise of Concert Connection, was getting a lot of the local artists on the show, and they've never been in front of a camera, they've never done an interview. Expand their hobby and learn a little bit. Maybe they haven't had the experiences. That was my goal. And
that's great, man. That's great. I mean, my advice to any of them would be like, get to know all the club owners, get to know all the local concert promoters, have a website, have a Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube presence, and then have a EPK and a one sheet.
Yep.
You need all of those things to prove to the world that you exist, you're serious, and you want to compete with the next guy. And it is competitive. There's only 7 nights a week, and somebody's going to get those slots. So usually it goes to the band that has their professional thing together. Not always the best musicians, but the people that do have the EPK, the sizzle reel, the website, a following on the socials, that they can tell a club owner, look, you can expect 100 people here on a Monday night.
Yep. And they know that they're going to back it up. They're back. I played this past weekend, and it's 75% capacity. They turn people away, and nice. It's like there were people, friends of ours, couldn't get in the club. Why? It was that capacity? And it's like, again, it's always flattering, even on a local level, that when you're packing a club. But it's again, you know how to run your business, and the other part of it is also getting them comfortable in front of the camera, and having some national musicians like yourself. I've had, again, Johnny came on, Tiny came on, Mike Bailey, a lot of guys that I've met through Drumathon. And I want the local musician to know you could come on the same show as some of these other artists. Like, we're all just people, okay?
Yeah.
We're musicians trying to make it. So come on the same show, and so I can't thank you enough for coming and being a guest and hanging out. You're doing the same thing that they're going to do with me, or vice versa. And again, please keep doing. I love your podcast. I hope you're going to be doing that for years, because
I will be. The goal, and this will be my ask for the evening. It never hurts to ask. Anytime I want to try to accomplish something in life, I ask for help from people that either have done it, want to do the same thing, or know people. And it's just the Rich Redmond Show. It's on all podcast platforms, and I interview musicians, thought leaders, authors, comedians, actors, and my goal is to grow that to where I have tons of national sponsors. So your Spotify's, your Starbucks, your Levi's, and or sell it to a chain, or to have somebody notice me in that platform and go, that guy is the host of my next show.
Okay, so you and I are reading the same script then, because I'm not any different. I'm doing the same thing, because
absolutely,
again, I think that I didn't invent the wheel. This is just Rick's spin on the wheel. Everything I do, I'm not the first guy. We aren't the first guys to do this. We're just giving it our personality and doing it. I mean, it's been done 1 million times. It's going to be done 1 million more times. This is just our way of going after it. So
you got tons of personality, personality to spare, buddy.
Thank you for saying that. I'm just trying to keep up with you, my friend. You definitely, again, it's always a pleasure. Would you come back sometime and hang out again?
Anytime, man. Anytime. Especially maybe when this thing is open.
In the studio.
In the studio. Absolutely.
Where I'm not in timeout anymore.
Are you in the doghouse?
I'm always in the doghouse. Are you kidding me? I mean, it's me. I can wake up, and I joke with everybody, but I go, every morning that I wake up, and Amy has not put the pillow over my face during the middle of the night and suffocated me, I win.
Well, how long you guys been married? 20, 25 years?
23, been together for 25. So, yes.
Wow. Nice, man.
And you've met my wife. You know, the fact that she has to put up with this ball of whatever we're going to call it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
you got that youthful energy, man. And there's like, this is, you don't play like a 50-year-old.
Because I heard somewhere that the fountain of youth is in the mind. If you stay active and you look at the world through the eyes of a child, your body will follow suit. And that's what I do. I am a goofball. I have no problems making fun of myself. I don't take myself that serious that I can't laugh at me. And honestly, I find myself to be entertaining when I do stupid stuff on a daily basis, and I'm not ashamed of it. That's how you learn. I mean,
I love it.
So thank you for hanging out with us today. I truly appreciate it. We'll have you back for sure.
I love it, man. Rick, thanks so much for having me. Kisses to everybody in the Dallas-Fort Worth scene. It's a great scene there, and if anybody wants to keep in touch with me, I'm so easy to find. Just Rich Redmond, REDMOND.com.
And I'll be the other guy stalking him, just so you know. So there you go, Dallas-Fort Worth. Thank you for hanging out with us again. There's another hour of your life that I'm not giving back. Tell your therapist to quit sending me the bill. The fact that your noggin is scrambled, call that a parting gift for hanging out with us. If you like the show and you want to follow us, you can go to Facebook, like us, invite your friends to like us. You can also follow us on iHeart Radio, Instagram, Twitter, Spotify. You can follow us on our Roku channel and our Amazon Fire channel, or you could just come find me at a local show and go, hey, Rick, I didn't remember all the little tags you gave. That's okay. I'll tell you again. And please don't ever be shy. Come up. We love meeting folks. That's what we do. You can also go to inthepitwithrick.com. You can download our app. It's free. If you're in a band, promote your shows there. That's how we get people out to see you locally. If you're a fan, get the app. You can look at it Monday through Sunday. Know where the bands are playing? Put down the ho-ho. Get off the couch. Go out, see some live local music. You won't regret it. So again, thank you for supporting live local music. I'm Rick. This is Rich Redmond. We're on Concert Connection, and we will see you in the pit.